And it's a Tuesday. It's minutes after 7. My name is Kobe, Spikey, and Chroma, and you're tuned in to Joy997 FM. The show is Geek Squad. The show is brought to you by GIPS, Interoperability, COVID Connect, and Hookah. And today we'll continue a conversation from last week. We're talking about going cashless. And for those who don't know what exactly a cashless economy is an economy in which all types of transactions are carried out through digital means. And it includes e-banking, mobile banking, or banking through your computers, debit and credit cards, card swiping, point of sale machines, digital wallets, aka mobile money wallets. And today I'm going to be joined by basically I'll be talking to Mr. Sam that we spoke to last week, and he'll be joining us soon. We'll also have David Adade, who's an IT consultant. They will all be giving us some insights into a cashless conversation. Now, I mean, people are probably wondering, why cashless? Why? How does going cashless help you? Well, innovations of convenience, mostly contactless payments, they build a gateway to bigger things for data, for advertising, and for the society. The data created by all these millions of digitized interactions, they provide deeper records of what people are buying and how much they're paying for it. And this sort of information that would be important to corporate research departments or even macroeconomists. And the GPS capabilities also allow themselves, for easy targeting of ads. As you probably would have realized that even on the internet, everywhere you go right now, your browsing habits follow you, and ads that are tailored for you follow you. Innovations, they save time. And even if it's just a little bit of time, they're real. And because in any advanced economy, time and attention are currency. I mean, you've probably heard the statement, time is money. And creating more of it can actually make you richer if you have a lot of time. I'm not talking about time that you're not using, but if you can translate your time into money, you have more money. So when you have more money, you have more time. More time, you can make more money. Isn't that right? Anyway, so we have David, we have Winston with me on the line. Hi, guys.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
How are you doing?
Winston. Yes, not bad.
Yes, so last week we were talking about going cashless. And, we uncovered a lot of things, but we just scratched the surface. Today we want to go deep into infrastructure, into technologies, into things that could actually aid in going cashless for either the country as a whole, the economy, or for individuals. Because some people may want to go cashless even if the system isn't ready, and we want to be able to help them ease themselves into it by letting them know, hey, how can you go cashless as an individual? And how can we also push the agenda of going cashless? If we agree at the end of the conversation that it's actually a good idea, how do we push the agenda of a cashless economy? So welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome.
Yes, so David, this is your first time joining us on the show. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, name is David Adade. I'm in basically IT, so IT consultant. I deal in web, backends, servers, networks. I've been in the industry for the last 20 odd years, so I know a little bit about architectural designs.
Well, for 20 years, I wouldn't say that would be a little bit. Anyways, so Dave, you've been most of your time has been spent in the UK and fairly around the world. You've experienced cashless economies around the world, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Yes. So, How would you describe some of the best cashless economies you've experienced?
Cashless. Okay. I would say, since coming to Ghana, I've realised I almost forgot how to, I almost forgot how to count money because I'm so used to using a credit card. A credit card for petrol. Everything you use is a credit card. You very rarely touch any money. And coming to Ghana, it's totally opposite. It's a cash-based society. If I want to do transactions with people and I want to send them money and, I ask them for the bank details, the first question is, oh, well, we don't have a bank detail. I mean, you're a company. So it's going to the bank or going to the hole in the wall and withdrawing cash and sending people cash via mobile money. So that's changed a lot. However, what I do find is, in terms of, we talk about cashless society. Oh, we want to go cashless in Ghana. The cost of transferring money, whereas I was used to making payments or purchasing goods for free, I find that now sending money, paying for goods is quite expensive. Mobile money, it's quite expensive to pay someone, to do cash transactions here in Ghana.
Right. So it's cheaper where you were doing cashless transactions versus doing cash transactions in Ghana. Yeah,
I would probably even go as far as saying it's probably free. If I was purchasing stuff, it's very minute.
Right.
The transaction charges are very minute. You probably wouldn't notice them.
So
I'm assuming they are there. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Right. So would you say that, from your experience, a cashless economy is better than a cash economy?
Cashless. It would vary. It would vary. The problem you face in the cashless economy is that it's. How do I say this? It's harder to spend money. If I walked into a showroom and I wanted to buy a car and I put down £10,000 to buy this car, there'll be questions asked. So it's harder to spend money. It's harder to spend money in a cashless society, which seems to be the way we're going. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I don't know. I don't know.
Right, Winston.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I'm good. And Michael's joined us. Hi, Michael.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, so we will still back on the cashless conversation.
Yeah, I've been listening. Very interesting.
Yes. So, per your experience, which one do you think makes more? Should I say, is the way to go? Cashless, cash light, or cash?
I mean, if what David just said is very, very true. It's harder to spend money if you're in a cashless society, in the sense that the transactions are all documented and there's a serious paper trail,
right?
Or at least an electronic trail. So where's your money coming from? Where is it going? Can clearly be seen. Right. But if you are dropping in watts of cash, like in Ghana, you could I believe you can buy a house, you can buy cars, just bring your Ghana must go, full of your cash, drop it, and we are gone. The questions as to where you got that money and everything does not exist so much. It does, but it's not something that the average person is really worried about.
Right.
So if we are looking to fight corruption on the scale where everybody has to be accountable for their actions, going cashless is the best way to enforce such a thing.
Right.
But in that difficulty to spend money also creates some forms of inconveniences.
Like,
so I guess we have to weigh the odds. I mean, if I have the money in cash, I have to take it to the bank, put it in the bank, and then issues. You know, some of these banking apps and these platforms always have problems. Like a friend of mine told me he was in Dubai some time back, and then he was at a restaurant in Dubai. There was a Ghanaian in the restaurant, and the Ghanaian tried to swipe his card to pay for something, and it didn't work. What was he gonna do? So he
Wow.
now had to sit there to call his bank back in Ghana. And my friend said he left, but he never knew what happened to the guy.
That's that's strange.
Yeah, that would really not be a great
Yeah, it
feeling.
wouldn't
So
be good.
like currently with the way our infrastructure, especially with electronic
Hmm.
services and identification and locating everybody and all that is at going cashless, it might slow things down a lot more than we think.
So
But some may argue
slow
that
things down in what sense?
slow things down in the sense that if we have over 10,000 people, like before, only like 1,000 people were using this cashless
Hmm.
system. So the traffic on it wasn't that bad. But now
Right.
we have over 10,000, 100,000 people on it. The chances of failure shoots up. The chances of your card being declined or not working because of some IT related issue you have no hand in, some back end issues, they will come to light. But some
Mm.
may argue that this would force us to do better on
Yeah, and
that
improve the
level.
systems.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that
So
segues
I don't
into
know.
talking about infrastructure as a whole, whether our infrastructure is ready. Because what you said reminds me of situations where you found people attempting to do a mobile money transaction and then they hear that the system is jammed or the system is not working. And imagine if you're going cashless and you have to deal with this. That could be a problem.
Big problem.
Michael,
See,
yeah, you've been quiet.
yeah, but in this time of working remotely, you can't talk about anyone and throw in your little quips here and there. Because when Winston was talking about the Ghana must go bags, I mean, like now with the redenomination, that no, so the new notes that
Mhm.
has been pushed back a little bit because someone made it. It wasn't even a joke. Someone made an observation, and before then, you wanted to buy a car. Yes, you either had to write a check or carry a whole Ghana must go bag set of cash. Now,
Or take the
selling a
person
car,
to your bank and cash the money and give to them.
exactly another long way to go. Now, you want to buy a car. I won't say the model and everything, but or the denomination, but you can literally go put down one, two, three bundles, done.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Car is fully paid for. I'm all for, as a technophile, I'm fully on board with the possibilities of a fully cashless society. But practically, um, and well, practically even from what I have experienced, the best way forward seems rather to be cash light.
Right.
I don't see, as much as sci-fi and the dream is to, oh, we'll never have to touch cash again. I don't think that is ever going to happen. Even in the financial circles, there's been talk of going back to the gold standard
Mm.
as opposed to the dollar or euro or yuan standard because of fluctuations and jumping up and down in the market.
Right.
So even there, they think of going back to basics. Now, obviously, for how our society is evolving and growing, is cashless is going to grow. But here in Ghana, especially, I think we may end up a good compromise for us to end up being cash like.
Mm.
I mean, we look at the statistics just last week. Mobile, our biggest form of cashless transactions now is mobile money.
Yeah.
Now, it is huge, but it still pales in comparison to cash-based transactions for all sorts of reasons that have been said before.
So that could
So,
probably be attributed to the infrastructure not being 100% ready.
well, you would say that, but our mobile phone penetration has
Mm.
exceeded 100% of the. I think it's somewhere hovering around somewhere 120, 125%. So
Hmm.
there's more phones in Ghana than there are people. But still, mobile money transactions haven't quite gotten there. And that is even the most popular version so far. If you want to really scale it up and make it accessible to and basically take Ghana's transactions to the world,
Hmm.
that is the EMV standard. Mobile money hasn't gotten there yet. You need to go into the smart realm. And numbers are hard to come by, but I can say for sure that the smartphone penetration and access, and alongside that, slightly related to that, is the banking population as well. Those numbers have historically been, and they are slowly growing, but they are still far below the methods of transaction we'd like to use. So yeah, even forgetting about infrastructure, even our culture is also one thing. We like to see, we personally as a people like to see physical evidence of things. Physical evidence on that. You even had this situation last week when you went to buy fuel with mobile money. As far as you were concerned, everything was fine and done, and you could prove it on your side. But because money hadn't exchanged, the situation couldn't be resolved cleanly until the vendor got involved and cleared everything up for you.
Yeah.
Because quote unquote, he's the big man.
Anyway, so I mean, with that being said, I think David could give us some insight on what it's been like, what the infrastructure is like for other countries that are actually doing this and doing it well. Dave. So
okay.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. I use Ghana MasterCard, got on the Visa card abroad, and 50% of the time it works. A little bit embarrassing, and you would tend not to use your Ghana, your MasterCard, or your bank cards abroad because of they just don't. They're intermittent.
Right.
Whereas your UK bank cards are pretty much 100% all the time. You walk into a shop, you buy your shopping, and your card's going to work, providing you have money in there. As to why we have these issues, we don't know. We've got no idea why we have these issues. I'm assuming it's the tech behind it, the transactions or whatever, but it's a little bit unreliable. In regards to you guys talked about the banks. When I first arrived here 5 years ago, in fact last year, I found it hard to open up a bank account. I had to prove, I had to give this sort of, I had to give a lot of information,
right,
to open up just the savings account.
Did you draw them
now? Sorry?
Did you have to draw the map to your house?
I had drawn a map to the house, but drawing a map to the house doesn't guarantee you're going to get your money back. I never, funny enough, I didn't think that was the issue. I mean, I'm opening up an account, and it's a savings account. Now, I cannot go overdrawn on this savings account, so the risk is relatively low. But I still had to provide a lot of information.
Right.
I think one of the big banks, I'm not going to say who, I needed a reference from another person banking with that big bank for me to open up an account, and I didn't know anyone, so I couldn't open up an account with this large big bank, and it was an issue.
Wow.
It was an issue. Yeah. It's whereas abroad, I find that if you're 12 years old, 13 years old, you can walk into a bank, you can open up an account, online, and within 5-10 minutes, you've got a bank account, a savings account, not a current account where you can go overdrawn. But they will allow you to open up a savings account, which is zero risk. If you wanted to go cashless, I would have thought, the idea is that you want people to try and put their money in the institutions, in the banking systems, and then use the banking systems to pay out. If the people can't get the money into the banking systems, then what do? I use mobile money. I use the banks. I hate using mobile money because of the amount of money I'm sending to my customers and my clients, and the charges I'm paying on them is ridiculous. Now, I would rather pay a smaller amount of money through a bank, and online, I don't have to leave my house. I don't have to go to a vendor. But a lot of people who I do business with, well, they just don't have bank accounts. Right. It's mobile money or there's,
cash.
So we're stuck in a rock and a hard place at the moment. So how do we go? How do we go cashless? Would love to go cashless. So where do you begin with?
Yeah.
Do you begin with the banks? I feel as though we're cornered by the mobile money companies. I think we're in a slight corner there, and it's.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry. Go on, far away.
Yeah, so I was saying that maybe it's because there really isn't any other alternative to something that is convenient or could, like, for lack of a better description, efficient, like the banks. So mobile money sort of comes across as another alternative that people can reach and do the transactions from the comfort of their own devices, and so they find it as the only option. What would you think would be a better option to going cashless if we weren't using mobile money?
Okay. What I've noticed now from my European banking is that they are now providing, so some of the banks are now trying to integrate software and trying to use the mobile money approach. So you can still have your regular bank accounts. You can send someone money same way you would as a normal mobile money. So that's where things are going now. And again, I think if the banks are doing it, the rates might come down. The question is, eventually we're going to have a situation where we have about 20 to 30, 40 mobile money platforms. If I want to send someone money, I'm going to have to ask them, well, what are you, MTN? Are you Vodafone? Are you Tigo? So it gets to a situation where we've got all these providers providing mobile money. What we need is, there are one or two instances in Ghana where, you can send mobile money from Vodafone to MTN. So there are one or two companies springing up who are now bridging this gap. Again, I've seen one or two of these in operation, but it's not clear what the rates are. It would be nice to see some transparency.
Right.
If I'm sending money from Vodafone to MTN, how much is it going to cost me? Is it going to be cheaper for me to walk down to the street and walk down the road and go to a mobile money vendor and then send it, or is it viable via my bank account or via my mobile money app? So that's kind of like where I see the market going in Ghana for it. Yeah.
Right. Winston, Michael.
Yep.
Both at the same time. That's good. So I'm looking at this from a technology point of view. Mobile money seems to be a technologically based service that has been created to solve a problem, but seems to have still some creases that need ironing out. You guys agree with me?
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Winston, how's it? Yeah, meaning that you are a bit doubtful?
I'm not doubtful. I just feel like most often than not, the efficacy rating of mobile money supersedes that of the banks, in my honest opinion.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think right now it goes without saying that mobile money has superseded banks in efficiency.
Yeah.
Which is why you have more of the masses using it as a go-to service for sending and receiving money. Because
you also sorry.
No, go on.
You go on. Michael mentioned the whole cultural thing, and let's be honest, many Ghanaians like to keep their money. I mean, we've heard stories of people keeping their money at homes where there's some form of physical representation. Money is under their bed, mattresses, and all of that. Mobile money has a very physical way of representing your money, in the sense that it's on your phone and it's on you at all times. For some strange reason, I don't know, like mobile money just worked. I don't know if it was the ease with which you could undertake setting up a mobile money account. I don't know if the fact that you have a phone which was a virtual representation or a physical representation of your virtual money. Like, I don't really know how they were able to pull it off, because banks have been around for the longest time.
I think that's what Sam mentioned last week, that they didn't have enough physical, stations, places where they were available. So it was it was difficult for them to penetrate the way mobile money did. Because think about it
True.
like this:
Very true.
prior to mobile money, we had space to space. Now you could argue that space to space vendors metamorphosed into mobile money vendors because it was a new
that's true.
thing. Exactly. So, and these things were ubiquitous. They were everywhere. So if you wanted to do a transaction, if you wanted to make a call, you could find them anywhere to make that call. And now these same people became mobile money vendors. Now, is that enough to justify some of the costs on the transactions? I know why I went with
you
this.
know the
right?
cost of no. You see the cost on mobile money, like David said, it's outrageous sometimes because you send.
I think it's outrageous all the time.
This is a very recent experience. Right? So I sent someone a certain amount of money, and when you send above 1,000 CDs, it's 10 CDs. The charge is 10 CDs no matter what. Now, in my understanding, because it crosses 1,000, if you're also going to withdraw,
you also
charge
exactly.
But this dude calls his mobile money guy, and the guy says it is 10%. So if I had sent him, I didn't send this. If I had sent him 10,000 Ghana cedis, I would have to pay what was it, like 1,000. If I sent it, it was just a very weird thing, and I'm like, but that's not what is supposed to happen. And it was a whole back and forth. And now, so not only are you sending the money the person, like if let's say you're sending 1,000, you are sending 1,010, but you've already paid 10 CDs for your transaction fee, so that's 1,020. What if I had something to do with this? If I had 2,000 CDs and now I have only 980 Ghana CDs, and now I need to find 20 CDs to top up to do. So I mean 30 CDs because I would have to send the money again, and it's another 10 CDs. These charges, they pile up real quick, and it's true. David is right. It's crazy. I'm thinking about it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't just. I don't feel that the efficiency, and considering that half the time you have to go to a vendor, I would have expected that freedom or that efficiency, that so-called efficiency that mobile money systems came with, would allow for me to do these transactions from the comfort of my home. Then I'd be glad paying for that amount. But here's the case that even when you're doing, for instance, you're doing a transaction from your account to your wallet to your bank account, you're actually paying about 15 Ghana cedis. And these are the things that, you know, they do not encourage. They discourage people from moving to a cashless system or using these technologies that are supposed to ease us into a cashless economy.
Yeah, because I think with the banks, at least you pay a certain amount for a period, and when you're withdrawing from the ATM or anything, it's like a fixed deduction. And you're cool, unless you are going to withdraw from another bank's ATM. Some banks have these weird things going on.
Yeah, where you're paying extra charge for using someone else's ATM.
Yes, it's like the rules of engagement are all over the place. Why do I have to pay extra for using another person's ATM when your ATM is not where I am? Like, is it my fault that your ATM is not there? Like, why should I have to pay extra?
David,
you pay me extra?
David, is this the same where in other countries? Do you pay extra when you use it?
No. I think they've got a bilateral agreement. That's the only way I can describe it. I can go to one company, maybe Barclays, and they have a bilateral agreement, because other than that, you end up in a situation where you have maybe 20 ATMs all in one on one street, and you can't really have that. So they have agreements. So they do bilateral agreements. I mean, that just makes sense. Wow. What's the way forwards?
Yeah.
No,
you see, okay, so
what's the way forwards?
I'm looking at this considering Apple's Apple Pay system gives rebates. It gives people money back, cash back on expenses. Now, I'd like to understand how that happens and why such a system cannot happen in this part of the world, where people do transactions and then they're giving money back, but we're rather paying more money. That just
I
cuts
think
everyone's
that's
tongue.
the answer.
Well,
We're paying
the
more
fact
money.
that Apple actually managed to launch their own money platform on their own is something that will probably require separate examination.
I mean, Samsung has
that-
also just announced theirs.
Yeah.
But I think the cash rebate situation in Ghana is, I know of certain platforms that do that. Unfortunately, I don't have them off the top of my head, but I've seen a few online platforms in Ghana that give you cash back. Like if you purchase this amount, they give you 10% back. And like this whole thing. I don't know. I feel like it's just like in America. Like this is things that I've heard from friends and experiences and all of that. Where if you have a bank account and all of a sudden you close your bank account, like the bank asks you why. Like, can we give you $100 so you stay? In Ghana, just closing your bank account is such a chore. It is. You are better off leaving your bank account with no money in it than trying to close it.
No, because they don't want you to close it, so they're encouraging you to stay.
Yeah, but you're not going to give me good incentives
Yeah, but it
to stay.
shouldn't be so difficult.
So
But
they
then
should
again,
incentivize you to stay.
Yeah.
But they're not doing it.
I'm not asking to be incentivized, but I feel like the reason why it's like in a capitalist economy, like the way America and some other Western countries are, you're always trying to beat competition. So is giving my people cash rebates going to make more people come on? Yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that. We will use money. Maybe we might lose 1,000 Ghana cedis, but we may make 9,000 more with the 10,000 people who are coming in with 1 Ghana cedi each. It's I don't know. I feel like sometimes nobody wants to take the risk.
Right.
Oh, but the banking sector has been historically very slow with
Innovation.
I mean, mobile money came in years ago and slowly grew, and it was only last year or the year before that one of the local banks finally made it possible for you to create your entire bank account from
USSD. Or even from USSD. Some banks now you can actually just dial a USSD code and then you open an account.
See? Yeah, create a whole account and then you can use, I think, even create a current account, but certain transactions are limited until you send in proof of identification when it is fully enabled. Yeah. But that was only recent when the rest of the world, even in Ghana, the rest of Ghana, in terms of mobile money and other transactions, have leapt forward. We are literally on the cusp of PayPal adding Ghana back to their listings and offerings.
Anyway,
wow.
So let me read some messages before we go on the commercial break. Eugene Malcolm from Finn in UK says cashless is better and he thinks it's the best way forward. He hardly handles cash. And sorry, I didn't catch your name. He says my bank, First National Bank, is free with other ATMs. So yeah, some banks are free with other ATMs. And we've got a message from Gabby. Gabby says these are his issues with cashless payments in Ghana. Major problem is cashless transaction will be fraudsters or scammers and hackers who misuse online banking and cheating innocent people. If we want to move to a cashless transaction and we need to have an easy solution to how customers will get their monies back, if not, forget it. Cashless transactions need better internet settings and internet speed, but in many of rural areas, the internet connections will be very poor, so it's also a drawback. He also says, without proper knowledge, we can't use cashless transactions because if any mistake happens in a particular issue, we are helpless. Immediately, we need to consult with the bank officials within time. That's from Gabby. And someone says he's coming. Bill Anderson says, I'm coming up with a better solution soon. No fee money transfer. Very interesting and innovative. We're waiting for you, Bill Anderson. And Gusau Sirajuddin Mohammed on Facebook says we need PayPal in Ghana. Okay. So Geek Squad is proudly brought to you by Home Use Cars app, the Hookah app. Discover the state of your car before it's imported. Hookah app, we let you know if it's accident free. And mobile money interoperability powered by Gibbs. Be a hero, be safe, stay home. Across are yet safer. And COVID Connect, a digital service that connects to the medical team at University of Ghana Medical Center. And you can access COVID Connect by downloading the Lusty app from the Play Store or iOS App Store. So we'll be right back after these messages. The show is Geek Squad. Stay tuned.
Once you mate, collect my phone and tell the person say it fell in your car. I need to send this person mobile money, but we are not on the same network, and they also won't understand.
You can now send and receive mobile money on all networks across a year easy.
Hey, sir, I didn't know.
From your network to other networks, you can now send and receive mobile money directly across IA Easy. This service is powered by Gift.
Hello. This is UGMC COVID Connect.
I'm Dr. Wilfred Asma.
I understand you have a runny nose. It doesn't necessarily mean you have COVID-19, and that is why I need you to calm down so that we do the best we can to help you.
COVID Connect, a digital service, connects you to the medical team at the University of Ghana Medical Center for quality medical support, expert psychological counseling, testing, and in-hospital management.
Access COVID Connect by downloading Lucy Vitals on Play Store or iOS.
COVID Connect is brought to you by the UGMC, the Ministry of Health, and supported by the Farm Access Foundation.
The show is Geek Squad. My name is Kobe Spike Nkuma, and we're back from those commercial messages. Let me tell you a bit about COVID Connect. So, are you worried you may be having COVID-19 symptoms? Do not panic. Download the Lusty app to access COVID Connect. COVID Connect is not just an app; it's a service. COVID Connect is a virtual consulting room which allows users of the app to fill in their COVID-19 symptoms, and if your symptoms are rated mild to high risk, you would receive a call from the medical team at the University of Ghana Medical Center. They will care for you based on the treatment guidelines prescribed by the WHO at the comfort of your home, and an ambulance will be dispatched to pick those who may require in-hospital treatment and testing for COVID-19. Download the Lusky app right now and connect to this service. Lusky is spelled Luscii. COVID Connect, connect for health. COVID Connect is brought to you by the UGMC, Ministry of Health, and supported by the Farm Access Foundation. Now, we wish to apologize to our cherished audiences in the UK for their inability to access us through the TuneIn app as usual. We are available on myjoyonline.com and adomonline.com. You can log into both websites and you can access our streams on Facebook, on Android devices, on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store, as My Joy Online and Adom Online. Just look for those apps in your store and download them, and you can listen to us online. Joy Learning is still here because we're still in COVID season, even though some people are going back to school. Dear parents or guardians, Joy Learning is intensifying teaching lessons in these times as the reported COVID-19 cases in Ghana have compelled schools to close down. Kindly tune your television channel to Joy Learning and access our classroom lessons and other educational programs. We can assure you that with Joy Learning, your children will not be left behind in classroom teachings while in the house. Do not allow COVID-19 to prevent your child from learning. Joy Learning has you covered. With Joy Learning, education is secured, convenient, and easily accessible anywhere, anytime, in the comfort of your home. Get a multi-TV digibox for your kids now. So we've got a message that says, "Hi Spikey, in Ghana here, when you do cross money platform transfers, they charge you as if you are doing a Western Union transfer abroad. What's the big deal? We are always disadvantaged and regulators are always all bark and no bite." That's Linus from Ashongman. Thank you for that message, Linus. It says doing a local transfer is like doing Western Union. Winston, Michael, you guys hear that?
Yeah. Doing a local transfer is not easy.
What did you guys say? I didn't hear you.
I was saying that doing a local transfer is not easy.
Right.
I would say I have a very interesting story about this whole interoperability. I mean, someone sent a text message, I think it was Gabby, talking about getting your money back, and then David mentioned bilateral agreements. Now, just this past week, a friend of mine was scammed. So apparently, there's this telco that does this whole, I don't know, money back winning thingy. So basically, he got scammed. He thought that he had won money, and he got scammed. So yeah, he got scammed.
But did he sign up for anything?
We had I don't know I don't know the details of what the whole thing was, but basically the pretext was that he had won, and it was actually something that telco was actively doing. And I saw text messages proving that it was something that they do. But I also saw text messages where they cautioned people about the number that would contact, the exact number that would contact them if they did win. So he gets scammed and everything. I think they took 700 or 1,000 CDs from him.
Wow.
And he was broken. But a friend of ours, we had a friend on the in, and he tracked the entire transaction. Now this is where what happened. After he sends the money to the person, or the person takes his money, the person immediately uses this interoperability and sends the money to a Vodafone account. So that's as far as our friend could go in terms of tracking the exchange of the money. So right now it was in Vodafone's hands. So if my said person who had been scammed wanted to get the money, he had to cross over to Vodafone. Now crossing over to Vodafone, what proof? He's not a Vodafone subscriber. What proof does he have? Does that mean that he has to rope in MTN back into this? Does that mean that MTN will have to provide documentation? Like, it sounded like a very long-winded process. Now, if they did have bilateral agreements, MTN would have been able to track that and figure out a way to get the money back. But I don't know. What my friend, the person on the inside said is that it's crossed over into Vodafone, so he would have to take up the issue with Vodafone, and he honestly does not know how that will go or how that would work.
Wow. Well,
so these are some of the fears that we have.
Anyway, so if you're listening to us and you'd like to join in the conversation, you can send a message to 0244 340437 on WhatsApp or Telegram at 0244 340437, or you can join us in the Telegram group. It's t.me/JoyGeekSquad, and then share with us your experiences with going cashless. You know, we were supposed to get some of the industry players on this conversation today, so we could have like some of these inside info, clarity on some of this inside info. But I'm not giving up. We're still going to try and do it. So another Gabby from Memphis says, "Hi Kobe, cashless transaction is very good, but the charges paid on them is my problem, because if you're sending cash, you pay charge, and for the person to get the exact amount, you have to add another amount, which is very bad." Yeah, so I think that seems to be the trend. And is that supposed to be a norm? I guess we will find out when we get the industry players to have the conversation. But to buttress what you were saying, Winston, a friend of mine also hit me up, and this was a very weird one. I've never heard something like that happen. He woke up in the morning and 1,000 Ghana cedis had been sent from his wallet. Like someone had cashed out 1,000 Ghana cedis, and he lives in Tema, and the cash out happened in Kaswa. Now, This was very suspicious to him because he was in Tema, and if they tracked his phone, they would know that he hadn't moved to Kaswa to do that cashing out. So, and he reported, and the vendor's line was blocked, and the vendor went to the police, and then the police were calling him and then threatening him because it sounded very suspicious. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there are a few ups and downs in going cashless, and it makes you wonder, is going cashless the best idea for Ghana? David?
But then the question is...
Okay. Right. I don't think we're actually ready for it. Cashless is, yes. Going cashless from a European perspective, going cashless means that the government knows what you're doing. They can keep tabs on you. and you pay more tax. So in terms from a government perspective, yes, why not? In terms of if you wanted to hide your money, then no. Going cashless is not a good idea. But having said that, on a serious note, with regards to coronavirus, nowadays I'm now conscious about touching money. If I'm going through a ticket barrier, I'm cautious about picking up this ticket and putting it in my hand when I'm in my car. So is it a good idea? Yes. In terms of yes, it is a good idea, most definitely. But there's too many pitfalls. We keep coming to the same conclusion: it's too expensive. The charges are exuberant, and unfortunately, that seems to be like a major stumbling block for me, anyway.
Right.
I don't know how anyone else feels about this.
The cost basically outweighs the benefits, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys hearing me? I said the cost outweighs the benefits.
Yeah. Well.
So it's like it's basically what David said. It's between a rock and a very hard place. We need it.
Yeah.
It's difficult, but we still need it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like you're living with it. We can't deny the fact that you can undertake a transaction at any time of the day or night. That convenience is undeniable. But the charges, man. The charges are trifling. If these telcos were willing to do a cashback thing where maybe they give you 50% on data or something, it would be fantastic.
I think
it would be
we should
amazing.
do what we did with the undersea cable and bring the telcos, and we will try and get them in, and then ask them about the charges and the security.
Okay. From another perspective, okay, I'm a telco.
Right.
I'm earning X amount of money, X amount of millions, billions a year on transactions.
Right.
Why would I listen to you? Why am I interested in this type of conversation? Is there another way? Think about it. Is there another way where we can approach this? I've heard from the banks. I hear about the banks. The banks in Ghana complaining about, they're not earning as much money.
Yeah.
If you walk into a bank, you want to set up an account, you need to speak to the manager, this person, that person. 5-6 hours later, if you're lucky, or maybe come back tomorrow, come back the next day, you might have an account open.
But
that needs to be a little more streamlined. It doesn't need to be for a current savings account. It doesn't need to be so stringent. I think the banks need to drive the mobile, the telcos, the big telcos. They're not interested. They're not interested in coming and talking. They're just not interested in full stop. The only people who are interested in is the government and the banks. If the banks could somehow drive, write better software where they integrate mobile money into their banking system and possibly open up a virtual open up account where you can send money backwards and forwards, that might alleviate or start a good competition going, because it's competition. Competition drives down the pricing.
Yeah,
it drives down the cost. My stuff. If they're going somewhere and I know they might need some money, I ask them. Here's a prepayment card or open up an account. I can send you some money when you're up north or wherever you're going. That needs to be there needs to be competition from the banks, which doesn't seem to be happening, or it's happening at a very slow pace. We need more competition in the market space.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, final words, guys, because we're out of time.
It's the future. I just wish everyone else to be able to one, it should be more accessible so more people can get on board, and we can get more minds behind it, so we can get proper legislation and protection for everybody, for both parties involved.
Right.
Because if it works, and bear in mind, once it works, we can get it to work here. We can expand it and connect to the outside environment, so people are crying for things like PayPal and all. I mean, imagine a possibility where one day you might be able to pay for your online purchases using your local mobile money account. It's a bit crazy, but it is not impossible. But it's only works if more people get on board and there's more thought put into it to really push it out there.
Right. Winston?
Well, yeah, on my end, I am thinking that going cashless is great and everything, the concept is fantastic, but there needs to be a lot of groundwork done, educating the people, like not even just educating them. We don't even need to educate them on cashless systems. We just need to educate them on the current systems we have, how to use it, how to benefit from it, how to adapt to new change, and then the physical infrastructure is necessary. Like with the banks, honestly, if the banks went USSD and had many people on the ground, or they had ATMs that could take money, cash in, and all of that, they would really, really become bigger players. So I feel like the physical infrastructure has to be dealt with. The electronic or virtual infrastructure can also be dealt with simultaneously, but that education and physical infrastructure is where we should be looking to finesse before we move on to the next step.
Great. Dave?
Okay. Up to now, the telcos have had majority share. They have their customers.
Right.
It's in their business model. I think the banks should do more.
Right.
You know, there should be healthy competition, and I think it should come from the banking system. Better apps. Better apps drive down the cost. Once you can drive down the cost, you can then look at going cashless.
Great.
But at the moment, it's an issue. Okay.
Great. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, David. Thank you, Winston. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much, Abeku Dennis, and my executive producer, Ishrado. The show has been Geek Squad. My name is Kobe Spike and Kruma. Catch you guys next week. Definitely bring you something interesting.